Everybody, welcome to Cocktail Time. It is Friday night. Once a month, apparently. Which can only mean one thing. And it is time to drink and talk about video games here at 4playernetwork.com. That's still the website, right? It's still 4playernetwork.com? It's been
I hope so.
It's been a while. I'm not sure. You guys changed it. That's why I've been doing this. Hey, how you guys doing?
Good?
Yeah! Excited? Fucking cocktail time! Excited.
About goddamn time.
Once every 3 weeks we do this now. Well, I have to admit, I don't remember. So last time we did cocktail time was 2 weeks ago. And last week I was in Portland. That's why we didn't have cocktail time. I don't remember why I didn't have cocktail time that other week. What was going on?
I think you were being taken out for dinner for a birthday or something?
No. Not my birthday.
Was 7 weeks ago.
That was August.
That was 5 weeks ago.
That was 5 weeks ago.
You were finishing up art assets.
Yes! I was working for you, Bob, is what I was doing. So everyone can blame Bob.
What?
The slave driver. My very own personal Hitler. Adolf Webb, we call him.
I need to start growing the mustache. I shaved today.
I still have the MS Paint I did of you.
Oh,
Yeah.
me with the Hitler
With
stash?
the Hitler stash. Yeah.
We should share that with chat.
I gotta find it. I have to throw it. Maybe next show. I'll just replace Bob's image with that one.
Right. It's just whenever I pop up, it's just the
Whenever
Bob
pop up,
Hitler
it's the Bob Hitler. It's the Bob Hitler thing. So, but yeah, I was in Portland, and we can talk about it. Not much to say. I went to a cheese festival.
Ooh.
It was a cheese festival.
Cheese festival?
Yeah, a cheese festival. When you go and you pay $15, and you pay $15, and with the $15 there's all these cheese festival booths, and you can just eat the cheese. It's samples of cheese, you eat. And then they also give you a $5 voucher for purchasing cheese. So, I mean, that's a good deal. For $15, you go and you eat a bunch of cheese, and you want to buy some cheese. I think a cheese is like, $9, and you have $5 stored. Yeah. So I got this Applewood smoked feta cheese, which was just fucking fantastic. And then there was a guy who had cured meats. So I got a thing of cured meat salami thing, and that didn't even make it out of Portland. I was like that first night. It was like bam, fucking cured meat, and then I was with my friends from Portland, and they had some cheese, and we just had a meat and cheese time, and it's fancy cheese. We're white. We like fancy cheese. It makes us docile. Is what it does. Did you ever see that Boondocks about fancy cheese?
No.
There's a whole.
No, I'm afraid not.
The Boondocks, if you guys ever see it, it's a fantastic cartoon. There's a whole.
It's a great show.
A whole section about this guy telling the kids, their grandfather telling the kids that if you get a old white man, he's getting mean, you got to give him some fancy cheese. It calms him down. So we were all made docile by our fancy cheese. I was like, man, I don't feel like enslaving anybody. This is good. Feels so nice. So I was in Portland. I did that and just kind of went around and did some stuff. A friend of mine, I took him out for a little bit and just spent a whole bunch of hours pouring through my friends' D&D books and stuff like that. So that was kind of what I did last weekend.
Yeah, you've got a D&D group down there, don't you?
Yes, we do. Well, my friend Edward is his name. He's been playing D&D since he was 16. And he's 47 or 48 now, and he's got like a whole room full of like hundreds and hundreds of miniatures, and he has his own system he made up. So he's been doing D&D forever, and he just knows everything. He's just kind of in that sort of thing. So he gets people together, and they do it every couple of weeks. They used to do it every week, but I think they're doing every 2 weeks now, as they do a D&D thing, and I join them when I can. So. Which is always fun because I don't play D&D that often, and it's unfortunate because I'd love to, but it's sort of, I always feel like I'm the lackey. It's like, what do I roll here? Die sick?
Yeah.
Favor?
It is
what?
one of those kind of...
So he just tells me what to roll.
You're having to go down there all the time. They should come up to you.
Well, you know, he's got his own house and his basement with a big table and all his miniatures are there. You know what I mean? It's just easier to go there. And they're all important. What are like 5 people going to come up to Seattle just for my sorry ass? Bad idea.
Yeah, why not?
I've actually thought about trying to get into D&D. I used to play. I tried playing a couple of times back with AD&D, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, in the '90s. I think it was 3rd edition.
Mm-hmm.
Was it 3.5, 3.5 AD&D somewhere on there? And I think maybe twice I got past the character creation stage. Like it took us seriously 2 hours, 3 hours to create characters.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And then we got 10 minutes of D&D, and then we had to leave.
Really? Because these D&D games go for 6 or 7 hours.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I think at that age and that point in time, I was just like, this takes forever.
Yeah.
This takes far too long.
Luckily, like Edward's been doing it for so long, he has all this stuff pretty much ready made.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, that's an ideal situation for you, so you can actually get some real game time rather than just fucking sitting there creating characters for like the first hour or two.
Yeah, they'll create character creation for Edward's games is usually doesn't take that long because he is a brutal dungeon master, a brutal fucking dungeon master, and your character will die at some point. So don't spend a lot of time. You don't get too attached to your character. In fact, I was going through some of his D&D books. And he has a couple of books on traps and whatnot. And then in the margins, and he probably did this in the 80s, you know, because he's got books from the 80s and stuff. In the margins is his notes. And his notes are actually making the traps worse than they are in the book. You know? So, it's pretty
needs to kill them outright.
He's killed them outright. Actually, one was... one note, and I swear to God, said, save versus poison or kiss your ass goodbye. Was one of his notes. I told him about the next day. I'm like, yeah, I saw your notes, you know. But all right, so let's get some stuff on the road. So let's do our toast of the week. I should go first. So what am I doing? Why is that not working? There we go. That's weird. All right, anyway, my toast of the week this week goes to Monolith for Shadows of Mordor, which is actually really good. And I will talk about that a little bit. I'm not really usually huge on, you know, like licensed games and stuff, but this one's really, really good and does open world really well, and I'm really, really enjoying it. So I definitely recommend Shadows of Mordor, and I'll be talking about it tonight, but my toast goes out to Monolith. And what am I drinking tonight? I have just my little shot of vodka, and then I have, it's actually 2 types of Gatorade mixed together with some vodka in it. It's a red Gatorade and a purple Gatorade mixed together.
Right. You're a fucking mixologist now.
I'm a what?
You're a mixologist.
I'm a mixologist. That's right, I am a mixologist. And, that's my toast for the night. Bob Webb.
So my toast is going to a company called Almost Human Games, and I don't know if you remember these guys, but they were the team behind Legend of Grimrock. Next week, they are launching Legend of Grimrock 2. Yes. And if you may recall, a year ago, 2 years ago, when Legend of Grimrock 1 came out, I fucking loved that game. Like, this is the dungeon crawler genre, specifically like a what should you say? I guess Lords of the I can't remember the name anymore.
Lords of the Fallen.
No. It's the
Lord of the Flies. Lord of the Flies.
I'm completely forgot. There's like I'm just totally in a space on all of them.
Lordy,
Lands
the singer.
of Lore. That was the one I was thinking of. Like that kind of old style of dungeon crawler. Dungeon Master was another one. Right. Dungeon Master 2 was a fucking awesome game. And those are just like really, really fun genres of games that just really aren't that made that much more. And Legend of Grimrock really brought it into the kind of the modern era of gaming and making it like, you know, look really good and changing the systems and making it a lot more streamlined and making it much more, you know, accessible while still keeping itself honest to the original. So I'm super excited for them, and I'm really excited to pick that game up. I already pre-ordered it off their website like I don't know, maybe couple months ago.
Right.
So I'm just gonna be waiting for my Steam key since I figure they get more money if I buy it off their site. So
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
if you're gonna pre-order, get it off of them. You can still get it for dirt cheap.
Indeed. Cool. I never even played the first one. Like,
the first one's great, and I'm drinking. I got a little thing of spiced rum, and I've been on a cider kick recently. Tara kind of instigated this, so I'm drinking a Crispin cider. It's very nice light cider.
It's sort of cider season.
Exactly.
Yeah. Chris Davis.
Well, tonight I am drinking my usual screwdriver, and then I'll have to wash that down. Later on, I will have a Puma Cola.
A Puma? What is a Puma Cola?
I don't know, but I saw it at the grocery store the other day. I was like, Puma Cola, I'm willing to invest in this. So,
all right.
60% of the time, it works every
time. But my toast this week is going to go out to Alien Isolation.
Oh, yeah.
Because, damn, that game is scary, and it's very often unfucking predictable.
Yeah. I played roughly 2 hours of that tonight, and we can talk about that, too.
Yeah. But going back to Legend of Grimrock, Bob, that game should be delayed 2 weeks.
Because of all the other fucking games that are coming out next week?
Because Evil Within is next week, and then the following week is Civ Beyond Earth.
Yeah,
and you can't do that. No.
There's a lot of games coming out in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
I'm really
excited. It's been a crazy release schedule over just like the last month.
Yeah, no.
Every week there's been kind of a big title coming out.
Remember, all these titles are supposed to come out at the same time, and now some of them got delayed, so now they're staggered, but. Like, this is all going to be 1 month, or like, there's going to be like 6 games every week that were going to be fucking amazing.
Yeah. Actually, the one game that came out this week, Styx Master of Shadows. That one came out of nowhere. I remember seeing this a little bit, but apparently it's a really good stealth game. We can talk about it.
Let's check it out. So, yeah, it's a Focus Home Interactive, so their stuff's always a little dodgy, but I'm hearing this is pretty good. All right, let us do our toast. 1 and 2 and 3.
Yeah, I put vodka in there.
Remember to stir.
Remember to stir.
We've been over this.
We've been over this many times. You always forget.
What am I thinking of? Like, the thing is, like, Styx Master Shadow reminds me of something else. Either it was something I saw a long time ago, like they released some footage of this like a year or two ago.
You're thinking of Orcs and Men.
Yeah, that's the one.
This is actually it's supposed to be I believe like a side story to that game.
Right, because it's the same character, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I recognize this character, and I remember of Orcs and Men's being relatively good, like being kind of like a the other people that played it, they actually enjoyed it. So it's. Mm-hmm. I'll have to look into it and
Focus Home Interactive. They always put out these really kind of niche, like underground games they have like what seems like really high production quality, but they don't get the recognition that like AAA titles get. Like, didn't they do Mars, the Mars After Earth or whatever that game, or was that somebody else?
Warlogs?
What? No, the Mars game.
Mars. Yeah, I think it was Mars Warlogs.
That's it, Mars Warlogs. Yeah, they did that.
Oh, that game.
Yes.
Huh.
Orcs and Men, they did this. So they churn them out. I mean, it's pretty interesting. So
that wasn't Cyanide, though. That was Focus.
I'm pulling up the wiki.
Which is the publisher. Cyanide did the Styx game. Focus did publish Mars Warlogs.
Okay.
Yes, you're correct.
Right. So yeah, they put out some interesting stuff.
Huh.
So let's talk about Aliens Isolation first, because I literally just stopped playing it like 30 minutes ago.
I haven't played it myself, but I've seen a lot of gameplay.
So I wasn't sure if I was gonna get it because I just wasn't sure, and I was like, I don't know.
Oh.
And then Evil Within is coming out, on Tuesday, and I'm definitely getting that. But then I got $75 out of the blue yesterday. So I'm coming out of my gym
crazy blowjob.
No. But it was sexually oriented. So I'm coming out of my gym, and this guy approaches me and is like, "Hey, would you like to do a survey for King County Public Health?" And I'm like, he's like, "It'll take a half hour," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm kind of, I'm thinking I just want to get home, And he's like, "We'll pay you $75," and I was like, "Fuck it, yeah, you can purchase me for $75, sure." So he takes me to this RV that they have parked across.
Remember that, everyone.
What's that? Yeah. So they take me to this RV that's parked across the street, like in this little parking lot. And long story short, I had to do this big, 30-minute survey about, drug use and sexual history and all this kind of stuff. And then they gave me a free quickie HIV test, which they do, prick your finger, they take 10 drops of blood, and they do it, and within 30 minutes you have your answer. So I did that whole thing and found out I do not have HIV, which is good. I didn't think I did, but
That's good.
It's good to be sure. And they gave me $75, and I'm like, I'm gonna get alien isolation with this. This is definitely what I'm gonna do with this money. So, but anyway, I just
One second. I gotta close my window. There's a drum circle outside.
a drum circle outside. What the fuck?
Oh, it is San Francisco.
No, I'm Davis.
Yeah, close enough.
Well, David.
There's some bongos and a drum set in the middle of a field across the street.
Jesus Christ. That's all the hippies that
Those
can't.
damn hippies.
All
They've
the
been out there since fucking 5 o'clock.
all the hippies who can't afford San Francisco anymore now live in Davis. So.
Well, they do have the domes in Davis and the university, which is also called Hobbiton. I might have mentioned these. They're stucco domes with poor plumbing and nothing else in there, and these people just live in these things. It's like a commune. It's a hippie commune. They actually. They were going to destroy them because they were so gross.
Right, yeah.
But they put up such a stink that they ended up keeping them.
Literally. A stink.
How often do these drum circles happen near you?
Hippies put up a stink.
Let's see. This is the first one that's happened in this field, but around Earth Day, I think is when most occur.
Of course they would on Earth
It's the
Day.
harvest time of drum circles.
Well, I insist, sir, that you go out and buy a paintball gun.
Oh, there you go.
Just teach those dirty hippies a lesson.
Hey, man.
That would hurt.
It would hurt
Actually,
them.
I own a paintball gun, just not in this state. I should bring it out.
You should bring it out.
Oh.
There's actually a paintball field not far from here. I could probably get one from there.
That for my birthday.
Yeah, for Tara's 30-something birthday, 31st. We decided to go play paintball.
No.
Is we're grown ass fucking adults.
Is this coming up or has this happened already?
No. It was just about almost a year ago.
Okay.
We ended up firing paintballs at 12-year-olds. It was really
That sounds
therapeutic.
That sounds fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all these little kids being Call of Duty's awesome, and then we just go ba-da-ba-ba-ba, and shoot them in the fucking face.
This is good. I should get involved in this. How do I get involved with this? Shooting 12-year-olds in the face.
If you're ever down here, we can go and go to the paintball field.
We should do that. We should
shoot the little kids.
Yeah, if I have to come down because we're in crunch time or something, and we gotta get things done,
just take out your aggression.
we'll take out aggression by shooting 12-year-olds in the face.
Yeah, it's great. Get it behind them.
Oh yeah.
Just unload right in their ass.
That's sounds.
I know
dirty.
you're on my team, but I don't care.
Sounds sexual.
Exactly.
So Alien Isolation. So I'm playing as Alien Isolation, and I guess I'm trying to wrap my brain around it because the thing about Alien Isolation is that first and foremost, it's a stealth game. You're supposed to avoid combat at all costs because you will die if you get into combat. But it lacks all of the tools that stealth games usually give you to deal with that sort of thing. The ability to listen through walls and see people's movement and not be seen if you're just peeking. And this game has none of that. None of that. There's times that I'm going through and I'm not sure where everybody is. There's times when I'm behind something and I'm peeking up and I'm seeing where they go, and somebody sees you when I'm peeking. And usually the way that mechanic works is as long as you're in cover, if you peek, you're safe. Not in this.
No, it doesn't work in this.
Not in this game. They will see you if you're peeking. So it's fucking like hardcore.
That's why it has to be extremely brief. You had to just peek over and just duck back down really quick.
Yeah, I probably stayed up a little bit too long. But
I'm assuming that if you're only 2 hours in, you haven't gotten the motion detector yet.
I haven't. So here's where I stopped. I stopped at the point where I go into the lobby. I've already met with the Irishman or Scotsman, whichever, and that whole thing happened. And now I just got the woman was trying to hack open the door, and I picked up the device she was using, and now I'm in there, and now they're in that room looking for me. And
that is a little bit of a rough area.
Yeah, I've died 2 or 3 times now. In there.
Yeah, basically what you gotta do is as soon as you pick that up, you gotta run back up the stairs to the left where they're gonna come through and hide behind a set of crates there, because evidently peripheral vision in this game isn't all that it's cracked up to be. So you just hide behind there. They'll walk past you and then you just go around.
Okay. Yeah, I think I was trying different things, and I'm still, like I said, I'm still kind of trying to get the lay of the land. Like I'm still trying to figure out how basic mechanics work, like the powering up of stuff and switching power around, like. So I'm not sure what stuff does. Like I figured out, the air ventilation or air purification system. If you turn that on, it makes things smoky, so they can see you less. I'm presuming.
Yep.
I have no idea what the speaker thing does, and
it
I
creates
also
noise, I think.
What?
Does it create noise for the area and attract the alien there?
I believe so. Yeah.
It didn't. It didn't seem to attract an alien when I tried it, but maybe it takes too long.
Well, you might have not had access to the alien yet?
I saw the alien. In fact, I got killed by the alien once already.
Oh, okay.
I know. And then, what is the other thing? I forget the name of it now. But when you first started out, it says like
unstable system.
Unstable system. What is that?
Yeah, that's nothing. That's just power being dedicated to a system that doesn't do anything. So that's free power.
Okay. All right. So that's just a holding place for power or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, like I said, I was still trying to figure that out and whatnot. So, I'm liking it. I want to get better at it because I'm really enjoying what the game is actually doing. The atmosphere is really fantastic. The sound design is fucking exquisite. The sound design is fucking amazing. So again, I'm really liking it. Other than the fact that there's some technical weirdness, like cutscenes are choppy and the frame rate is awful, and I don't know why that is.
I'm getting that too.
Is there like some like lag in the lip sync too?
Yeah, the lip syncing is really bad.
Yeah,
because
I saw I wasn't too sure if it was just every stream that I watched, but every stream had lip syncing problems.
No, it's off. In fact, one of the if you download the latest patch and look at the update notes, it actually says that it's fixed. Like some of it's fixed, but it's definitely an issue in the game. And there's the frame rate is just awful during cutscenes, which is very jarring.
During cutscenes, okay, so during gameplay it's not.
During gameplay, it's for the most part it'll stutter every once in a while in gameplay.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember seeing a lot of... I haven't seen a lot of the cutscenes, but I do remember them being a little jittery. But gameplay's been pretty smooth.
Gameplay's been pretty smooth. The cutscenes are jittery as all fuck, which is,
That's annoying. That's stupid.
Very annoying.
What the fuck is cutscenes? What the...
You think it'd just be all pre-rendered and play play the movie of it or something.
Well,
and they kind of look like they should be pre-rendered, but they're not.
Yeah, I can tell you why. I mean, it's so you can have the cutscene blocked out in game and then just keep doing it and putting in new assets there and not have to re-render something.
Yeah.
It's a kind of a time and space saving device. It's just to use machinima basically.
Right. So, but I don't know. I'm enjoying it so far.
When I started in this game, I was just from what I played at E3 and from just how they've been advertising it, I was fairly certain that I wouldn't be able to beat it. That I would fucking chicken shit out less than halfway through the game.
Right.
And it's not the case for me because I'm adapting to the horror. It's not as scary for me as I thought it'd be. It's more just I have the idea that I'm playing a stealth game in my head and I fuck up and I just restart. I'm not getting terrified or scared when the alien drops out of nowhere and just suddenly kills me.
Well, I can tell you why. You're desensitized to it. It's from everything I've seen. It only does. it only has a certain amount of tricks in its book. So it doesn't really like when you. It's basically it's like, oh, you get caught, you die. Oh, you get caught, you die. It's the alien. It's the alien. You see it. You see it a lot of times. You see it. You'll see it kill you time and time again. After a while, you're going to get really desensitized to it. It's not like like
Yeah.
a lot of horror games where they'll throw new things at you that do different things and they look very different and you don't
Yeah.
know what to expect. It's this unknown kind of thing. It's when the alien becomes a known quantity, it's not as scary as it was.
Uh, I mean, but by contrast with Amnesia: The Dark Descent, I was scared shitless that entire playthrough.
Well, there's other things
And
besides the alien that can kill you.
yeah,
They're
there are other
synthetic, so-
humans and
Yeah.
there's androids, and I'm assuming there's going to be a fourth enemy. I haven't really seen that yet.
Predators.
I think the androids are almost more freaky than the alien, actually.
Yeah, I would say the androids are. I mean, the androids are fucking creepy.
Yeah.
Oh, the androids are definitely creepy. I mean, those fucking eyes are just startling when they turn in your direction. But no, the android is the only enemy I've actually tried and managed to kill. They are tough sons of bitches, and you got to waste a lot of ammo. But they're not a problem because they only walk after you,
Right.
and you can escape from their grasp. They won't insta kill you.
They did a really good job on the like with at least what I saw. I thought that if I'm remembering correctly, the androids. This corporation is not Wayne Tech. All right, Wayne was that right? Wayne Corp. Wayne
Wait, what?
Wayland Yutani. There we go.
It's not Wayland Yutani, no.
No, it's one of those W made up companies. Wayland
It's
Yutani.
Siegmund.
It's not Wayland.
It's called Siegmund.
Yeah, Seagrams.
Siegmund.
Siegland.
Seegman.
Siegman. Oh right.
Yes.
Okay, Siegman. So it's not a tonic.
No, Siegson. I'm sorry, Siegson.
Siegson. There we go. Because I was like, isn't it something in Sons? Or yeah, I don't know. But it's So they're not Wayland Yutani. So they don't have like they're kind of a competing corporation. So the androids are the working Joes are not as good as the Wayland Yutani ones. They actually have like you can see in their neck. It looks like it's a thin film that's covering like mechanical parts underneath. It's not actually attached to anything. Like it's not like when they move their neck or their skin actually folds in weird ways, like a really creepy animatronic kind of thing.
Yeah, the idea is that Siegson is creating this line of androids that are much simpler, both in design and AI, but at the same time they're a whole lot cheaper. They're a cheaper alternative to the Wayland Yutani synthetic.
Okay, so that's what that was. Because I was looking at them like, I know Wayland Yutani makes ones that are, very compelling, and that I know they got mistaken for being human. And seeing the working Joe, I mean, like this could never be mistaken for a human. I was kind of wondering at the discrepancy between the two, but the fact that they are these kind of little more creepy kind of Five Nights at Freddy's kind of animatronic kind of creepy things. It's almost a little more disturbing than something that's more humanistic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I guess that the one thing I was really hoping for. So when they were advertising this game, they talked about humans not necessarily being enemies, and that you could have some allies along the way. And you do run in to a few allies, but they're story centric. There's nothing dynamic about all the humans in the game. Basically, you encounter them, and either A, they'll start shooting at you immediately, or B, they'll try to warn you off, and after a certain amount of time, they'll start shooting at you anyway.
Right.
So, but I was hoping maybe you could like make friends with people and maybe share supplies and shit like that. But that hasn't happened.
So far, they're just shooting at me. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be kind of interesting if there was some kind of more dynamic system of being able to befriend certain people on the ship. Like you wouldn't have to, or they would help you in certain ways, or you could kill them and take certain supplies, like that kind of thing. A little bit more like what was that survival game that came out was an Xbox Live game 2
Describe
years
it.
ago. What?
Describe it.
You were a guy. This is going to describe every fucking post-apocalyptic game.
Right.
Jesus, everything I can do to describe it. It was a. Oh my God. You were climbing around, like, I remember, on bridges and bridge structures and
I am
cities.
alive.
I'm
Yeah,
alive.
I Am Alive.
Yeah.
There we go. Boom. Yeah, Jordan got it just as you guys got it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I Am Alive is the game I'm thinking of, like where it was a little bit more of the interactions with the people was much more dynamic, and that you could. I mean, certain people would get freaked out if you had a gun pointed at them, versus some of them would actually want to talk to you and try to trade and that shit. That kind of dynamic could have done well in this style of game.
Yeah, I could see that. Definitely. Well, I Am Alive was a special sort of creature. I mean, that the dynamic nature of your interactions is what made it so awesome. Yeah, that was kind of the focus of that game.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's kind of the tech that built the game.
Yeah. But no, I'm liking it, so I'll be playing more of it.
It seems like a lot of it is it's very frustrating, but mostly due to the fact that people don't know where save points are.
Well,
Yeah, that's the interesting thing. I mean, there is no autosave system in here,
Yeah.
no.
and all the checkpoints are manual.
Right.
You have to look out for them.
And there's a good amount of them, but it's like today when I died that few times from those people looking for me in that big lobby area, and I got thrown back to the checkpoint, the save point, right when I get out of the tram system. I was like, oh god, all the way back here, I gotta do all this menial shit again where I have to pick
Well, you can
up
get through
the
pretty
thing.
quick.
You do, but I think that the initial, I'm not used to that in modern games, so my initial reaction was, oh god, I have to go and pick up the thing again and wait for it to trigger and do all that kind of stuff. So I can see how that kind of turns people off a little bit, because usually in a modern game you'd pick up that piece of equipment, and that's where the checkpoint would be, and if you die, you'd go right there again. It's a little more of an old school way of doing it, but
Yeah, I can see why they would want to.
But I think I think it's important though, because the more that I think about it, I kind of like it because Chris Davis is already feeling desensitized by it, and if I could they just checkpointed in easy spots, there'd be no sense of dread. There'd be no sense of punishment.
Right,
for dying.
it would remove a lot of the fear of death.
Right. So now it's like I saved and I did some stuff, and it's like, okay, do I want to continue on, or do I want to go back to that save point and save my progress so I know I'm okay? You know what I mean? So maybe I'll just try to get to the save point. So I think that's almost like the save system is a mechanic unto itself in the game. So I think if I approach it mentally,
and it actually sometimes benefits you when you're in an alien encounter to load up a previous save. Because from what I've been playing and what I've kind of figured out is that when you spawn in from a save and you're in an area in which you can encounter the alien, it will go away from you. It will go in the exact opposite direction, I believe, of where you need to go initially, but only for like maybe 30, 45 seconds.
Right.
And then you have to start worrying about it.
Right.
Because I got to a medical area where I was supposed to pick up a med kit, and I found a save point, and I would die at the hands of the alien. I would spawn in, and he would immediately go exactly where I had come from, not where I should go.
Right.
So I was able to time my movements and know exactly when to go versus when he's going to be approaching me.
What is the mechanic of the alien showing up like? Like, I know sometimes there's nothing around me, right? And walking is the main way of getting around the station. It's pretty slow, but I mean, the areas aren't huge. It's not like it's going to take you forever to walk down a hallway or something. But sometimes I'll just kind of run just to kind of get somewhere faster. Is it that any time I'm running, I'm chancing attracting the alien? Or does he just kind of show up completely randomly?
See, that's the thing. I don't think it's random. I think it's just in preset areas.
Okay.
But then again, when I first got to the transit hub, there were some people upstairs that an area I wanted to go explore.
Mm-hmm.
So I started heading up that way, and the alien had been moving through the vents for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was just, trying to just fucking with you. I didn't think he'd come down. And then as I'm going up the steps, he drops down on the floor behind me, runs up behind me, and gets me.
Yeah.
And that happened completely random, and that never happened ever again.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I mean, I think it's kind of neat to think of the alien is always somewhere in the game, and maybe it's near you, and maybe it's not, and maybe that one moment when you decided to run to the next room just to save time was the moment the alien was close enough to hear your noise. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I like that idea. I like if that's what the game is doing, then that makes me excited to play it. Not that I entered this room and the alien's always going to come in this room. And I'm sure there's a couple of areas like that where it's scripted, but I kind of the idea that 99% of it is unscripted makes me excited for the experience.
I would like it more if it was a little bit more simulator focused.
Mm-hmm.
So it should be like the alien can appear at any time, anywhere. But this festival station is so large that you shouldn't expect it very often.
Right.
Like the main element of fear should be more focused a little bit more on the humans. Right. And the androids, and just the dynamic of just being in this survival situation.
And just in general, I mean, I think if the alien shows up too often, it's just going to become boring. I'm really especially enjoying like the first hour and a half of this game where there weren't a lot of enemies, and I'm just kind of going through this station and experiencing the atmosphere, and there's scary, like just the ambient station sounds are frightening enough, and not knowing what's going to happen. I like that, and I almost feel like the alien doesn't need to show up that often to make this game successful. And I'm worried that
it really doesn't. No.
Like I don't want there to be too much alien in my Aliens game. If that sounds silly, which actually makes me think. It reminds me, it's kind of off the point, but I watched Hellraiser last night by myself, and I haven't watched Hellraiser in a really long time. I always like Hellbound 2, Hellbound Heart a little bit more, but I hadn't watched Hellraiser in a long time. And
the first one.
I watched the first Hellraiser, and you know what?
Is that what it is, like the mattress in the attic?
Yeah, and the Cenobites are hardly in that movie.
No, but they show up at the end. That's it.
No, they show up a few times during the movie, but it's all mostly about the dynamic between Frank and him trying to become human again, and the daughter and stuff like that. But like the Cenobites aren't really around that much, and then the second one, it's like Cenobite extravaganza. It's all Cenobite all the time.
Yeah, it's nothing but Cenobite.
But I remember, I ended up I kind of just wanted to watch Cenobites do shit. I ended up fast forwarding through a lot of the movie. I'm like, oh god, I don't care about her dad and her daughter and his cheating wife.
They do a lot of flashbacks in the first movie, don't they?
It seems like the first movie is kind of setting the whole thing up, and then they kind of do stuff. I also watched. Excuse me a second. I also watched The Ninth Gate with Johnny Depp. It's a Roman Polanski movie. And
it's not a good movie.
It is the slowest, fucking most ridiculous movie. It's 2 hours long, and it's so slow. It is so slow. It's just not very good. It took me two sittings to get through it because I just had to stop it. I remember watching it, and I feel like this movie has been on for fucking ever. How much more do I have? And
that's a bad sign when you're trying to figure out how much is left of this.
Yeah, and the fact that it was so slow was adding to it. And I looked and I was like, oh, I still got an hour. Oh. So I stopped it, and then I started it again last night, and I watched the second hour of it just for the fuck of it, just to finish it. And, God, it's a slow movie. It doesn't make any sense either. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to see a movie or.
Yeah, Delago's
I actually sat down to watch a movie in a while.
It's like the Ninth Gate. It's like the movie's like just a meandering path that never goes anywhere. And some parts of it are interesting and nice, but for the most part, it's just there's nothing.
So the Ninth Gate, the gateway to hell, is the movie itself.
No, that would be something. That would be more exciting. So actually, there's at the very end of the movie, something big happens. Not even that big, but for this movie, something big happens, and they, the Johnny Depp is in a car driving in the highway with a female companion, and he says, "So, is that it?" And I was like, "Yep." Took the words right out of my fucking mouth. Right out of my mouth.
God.
So, have you played, Chris Davis? Have you been playing Alien Isolation? You have, right? You've actually been playing.
Yeah, I was playing that up until about 5 minutes before we started this.
How far are you?
I don't know. I'm going to assume that I'm about near the halfway point of the game.
Okay, and you know how often does the alien show up? I mean, is it like, hey, there he is again, or do they have those long
It seems like
moments?
it's pretty damn often after you get to once you get to the medical area. Like after that, it seems like you're dealing with the alien 24/7.
You're not dealing with it 24/7, but you are getting. It is there a lot of the time, and you're having to. You only get some brief pauses every now and then.
Oh, so brief pauses from the alien every now and then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
you'll get to a safe area that you've been to before, or you'll find an area with other humans, and your motion tracker is not really going off with the alien. So
I want it to be the other way around. I want it to be where there's less alien, you know. But oh well, we'll see.
The act of constantly teasing that the alien could be following you, with it going through the vents above you, and you never know if it's actually going to come down and attack you.
Mm-hmm.
That does add a level of tension,
though, don't you? Because there's like spit coming down out of the vent if he's going to attack you.
Oh no! Well, there are moments where he's hanging out in the vent. He'll find an opening, and he's just waiting for something to walk underneath it, and so he can attack it. And I love that, actually, because you see. You hear it like kind of growling, and then you see drool coming out of the vent. Mm-hmm. And I know immediately, just stay the fuck away from that. I don't want to even go near attracting that thing. But no, it's just, there are moments in the game to where it doesn't really attack you. It's just crawling through the vents, having a grand old time.
So are there moments?
It's like a cat playing with its food.
Kinda, yeah.
Are there moments where the alien will randomly attack the other humans in the?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
The alien will attack. I haven't seen it attack androids, but it will kill every human it comes across.
Mm-hmm. But you can actually kind of bring the alien over and provoke it and have it attack the other people by like throwing a noisemaker or using the speakers and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a dynamic thing you can do. I mean, in the medical sector, you find an area that has 3 or 4 different humans with pistols, and the alien is also roaming around the area. So occasionally it'll find a human and kill it, but to distract it, you can throw a noisemaker or something in the direction of the humans, and it'll end up attacking the humans, allowing you a chance to slip by. So it's some pretty dynamic AI. Again, I haven't seen it attack androids, but I want to know if it does.
Why would it though? He can't implant eggs.
Well, it killed one. Well, for one, in the first Alien movie.
No, the second one, Aliens.
Second one, Aliens. Yeah, right. It killed Bishop.
Yeah, but Bishop was in the way.
Well,
wait, what do aliens? Hold on, wait a second. What do aliens eat?
I don't think they actually eat.
That's bullshit. You know it.
Well, I mean, of everything I've seen of the xenomorph, I don't know if they eat it all. I think they just grow.
Is saying it never attacks androids.
Oh, it doesn't attack androids?
Nope.
Oh.
Well, I know the alien species will abduct humans.
Right.
Yeah, so it can serve in the reproductive cycle.
Right.
But
right. Though it seems like they kill a lot of them. Especially in the game and in some of the movies.
But they don't eat anything. They have to eat something.
I don't think they do.
I don't believe it. Let's wiki this.
What do they feed off of?
What do they feed? That's what I mean. What do they feed off of?
What is their energy source?
What is their energy source?
could be like insects.
Insects?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, like the alien, the adult form is a non-feeding form that they just allows them to collect. They exist to reproduce or collect a species to reproduce. Although the queen would have to eat.
I'm just looking up a bunch of different things, and I can't find anything on a diet.
Though the aliens are more modeled off of ants and termites, because the queen lays a bunch of eggs.
All ants eat.
Yeah,
They all eat. Yeah.
They have to eat. They
have to eat. You know, I bet they eat. I bet they eat
I'm gonna regret this,
astronaut.
but I'm gonna Google what do aliens eat.
They probably eat astronaut ice cream. Because
Specifically say xenomorph, because
Okay,
aliens
what
is
do-
going to be too...
right, you're gonna get a whole like. You know,
I can spell it. Google corrected me.
xenomorph starts with an X, Bob. Just so you know.
All right. So what do they eat?
What do they eat? They have
Soylent
to-
Green, apparently.
That'd be
No,
something.
You know, that's actually people.
Yeah.
True story.
Yeah.
I think it's just one big killing machine that just exists to reproduce.
But
And I guess once it has reached a certain limit with its energy depletion, it just dies.
But it has to have an energy source of some sort.
So this is one theory, is that xenomorphs eat what their hosts eat, because obviously they incorporate the DNA.
So
They can
astronaut
likely find a
ice cream.
source of inorganic material compatible with their biology, and on any planet they find themselves on, I guess.
So they eat like snakes.
Because I mean, the aliens are basically the alien that you see in a lot of the movies and games is based off of human biology. So would they be like a fucking alien with the munchies going into the mess hall, like eating a whole bowl of cereal?
Yeah, they're like sandwiches and stuff.
The alien in Alien 3 was based on a dog. so-
Karth has a good example ideas. Maybe their acid drool reacts with things and they lick it back up. Like it's sort of like
Like a fly.
flies. Yeah.
No, but they don't have
Run-
acid drool. They have
Rundle
acid.
fly.
They have acid
They don't
blood.
have acid drool. They have acid blood.
Yeah, not their drool is not acidic. Only their blood is.
Yeah. I have no idea. This is a good question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the fiction has ever addressed this.
How could
No,
you
it
not address that? That's crazy. Maybe they're like Superman and they get all their power from the sun.
I have no idea.
But there are
That's it. I'm taking the game back.
Just fuck the logic. Just
so many
fuck-
plot holes.
I'm just gonna say astronaut ice cream, and that's why they're always attacking astronauts.
And Necro is saying you literally see him eating a dude in Alien 3. Do they? Do they eat a dude? I mean, I guess
Maybe.
if they say they borrow their DNA and they eat whatever the hosts eat, then that would follow that they could eat people.
Reborn is saying that Superman eats though, but Superman only eats to keep up the facade, like the glasses. He doesn't really
God, does
need
Superman-
to eat.
Does Superman shit?
Oh my God! What if he?
I would have to assume so.
Well, if Superman eats, he has to shit. Super shit.
So, well, I mean, that's kind of weird that he would eat if he doesn't need to eat, and would he poop if he doesn't need to eat?
What if does he have an anus? Wait. Does Superman have an anus?
I'm gonna Google this.
Okay, look up.
I've already Googled it.
Look up Superman. Look
Does
up-
Superman poop.
Look up Superman anus, if you could. Let me just throw this in here.
Did you find your answer? Does Superman poop?
Superman.
Well, the first link, it's 8 gross superpowers you didn't realize Superman had, and number 8 is pooping. It says if superpower. If Superman pees, he also poops.
Wait, so he's like a bird.
Right.
Like, he does fly. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put this in the chat. When you put Superman anus into Google,
Oh Jesus!
I'm not. No,
that's
I'm not
what
clicking
you that's what you get for Superman.
Oh, Christ.
Oh God.
Oh, Jesus! Prepare your anus, boy. Superman is coming.
That's not what I really wanted to see. I wanted to actually see the Superman anus, but that's the best we're gonna get, I think.
Yeah, Superman about to sexually assault a small child.
Right. Yes.
A crying small child.
Crying. Of course he's crying.
That is.
There's a NeoGAF thread on this very topic.
On if Superman eats.
If he
poops.
If he sleeps, eats, shaves, or poops.
Yeah, like Superman wouldn't need to sleep. That's ridiculous. I could see Superman pooping before he's sleeping.
So the thing is though that all the civilians that lived on Krypton, they did not have superpowers. It was just the fact that when Superman landed on Earth, the sun gave him superpowers, like just his race. Like, so if anyone else from Krypton came to Earth, they would have superpowers.
Exactly. Yes.
So,
which is why Zod and them, when they showed up,
right.
Wow, look what we can do here, you know.
I don't have to shit anymore.
I don't kneel before Zog. I no longer have to shit.
I am free from this mortal shackle of shitting.
Mortal shit. I am free of the shit shackles. Long bus rides are no problem for Zod.
Long bus rides. So you know for a fact that Superman was not on your bus.
Yes. I know. I think no one pooped their pants, so I think we were just going through a stinky town. Stinky town?
It's like New Jersey?
I was, so people don't know this if they don't follow my Twitter, and you should follow my Twitter. If you followed my Twitter, you'd know about this. My Twitter's at @TheJosephChrist. You can put it in chat. But I went to Portland, and on my way back, or was it on my way there? I think it was on my way back. I was convinced, all of a sudden the bus filled with a toxic smell. This horrible, horrible toxic smell. And the man next to me it seemed to be everywhere, but it seemed to be really strong next to me. And the man next to me was huddled over in the plane crashing position with your head between your legs. And I was convinced that he had pooped his pants next to me. And I was about to have an adventure. A bus adventure. And I wasn't sure how I was going to deal with it. But luckily, that was not the case. We went down a few more miles and the smell dissipated. So
they probably were going by a waste treatment factory.
I think on the way to Portland, you go through a town that has a paper processing plant.
Yeah, it's called Shit Town.
Shit Town, yes, Shit
I know that town.
Welcome to Shit Town. Superman does not live here in Shit Town.
Superman actually avoids Shit Town.
He avoids. He goes around Shit Town.
Don't know why.
Yeah. But so anyway, that was that. Anyway, Alien Isolation. That's how it is. I'm enjoying it. So,
Alien Isolation is a very good game. Nick is going to be doing a review of it. Should get that live probably next week. So
okay, all right, cool. And then the only other thing I've been playing has been the Shadow of Mordor. You know, I don't know how to talk about Shadow of Mordor, so I won't talk too much about it because I'm not playing it correctly.
You're not playing it correctly?
I'm not playing it correctly. I'm having so much fun just running around the overworld, like fighting orcs and urks and stuff, that I have done maybe 3 story missions.
Well, you're not missing much with the story.
I've been playing for hours, and I have all these skills opened up and unlocked, but the ones that are related to story missions and power missions, because I just run around and get into combat.
Yeah, the stealth, the combat, and the nemesis systems of the game are the highlights of the game.
The combat's fucking tastic. It's just fantastic. It's really good. But I've been playing a little bit of a lie. I've been playing for hours and hours and hours, and it's only recently that I've gotten to the war chief stuff. So
well, hell, you're still in the first half of the game. Then.
Yeah. No, that's what I mean. I've just been running around fighting through dudes and not doing anything I'm supposed to be doing. So, but
see, what you need to do is you need to start doing the story missions and get the branding ability.
Yeah, I don't have
Then
that
once
yet.
you have that, the game completely changes.
Really? How so? Because I don't have that yet.
The branding ability changes the dynamics of the combat and the nemesis systems, mainly through just being able to take over the mind of an orc
Right.
and have them serve as an ally.
Mm-hmm.
You can manipulate the nemesis system to where you can send them off to do power struggles against other war chiefs or try to become bodyguards. Just
What?
Uh,
But you can tell them
yeah.
what to do? Like you can say, this is what you're going to
Yeah.
do? Really?
yes,
Holy shit, that's fucking awesome.
yeah.
So like you have
can-
you have little minions and you can send them out into the land to do stuff for you. And it becomes more of like, I don't want to say RTS, but more strategic in a way.
Well, it's limited in what you can tell them to do. It's not everything that you can possibly imagine.
Can you make them like shine my shoes, bitch?
No.
Oh, it's too bad.
But what you can do is you can
Right.
press up on the D-pad,
Right?
and then you can have them immediately starting attacking any enemy around you.
So how do you send them off to do power struggles, and can you send them off to like attack war chiefs and stuff?
It's a menu option.
Okay.
You have to select them and send them off on a mission.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I mean, yeah, it's really cool, and it's really useful when you're taking on the war chiefs in the second half of the game,
Right?
because what you can do is war chiefs will have bodyguards that are captains.
Yes.
So if you take over the captains with the branding,
Mm-hmm.
and you go to take on a war chief, they will fight alongside you when you start attacking the war chief.
Oh, so they'll turn on the war chief immediately and start fighting for you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So I'm just gonna so your best bet is to try to brand and get all the bodyguards as your branded
Yeah.
people, and then that's cool.
Yeah. I mean, the problem there are some distinct problems in the game for me. My primary one being that most of your powers are gated behind story missions,
Yeah, yeah.
and you don't get branding until well into the second half of the game,
Oh, really?
and you don't get all your core powers until you're like 2/3 of the way done.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it is. It's yeah.
You're really not given any time to really mess around and just get a good grasp of the mechanics that
too
you've
bad.
earned until it's time to start getting ready for the final battle.
Oh, that's too bad.
So does it lock you out after the final battle? So you can't just like go dork around with it afterwards?
No, once you complete the battle, once you complete the story, then it just puts you back in Mordor and you can do whatever you want.
But it would be great if they gave you all that stuff sooner, and then the game was built around all those different functions you had. Especially the branding stuff.
That's one of the things I addressed in my review. I really wish that at least branding was available at the beginning of the second half, if not before that.
Yeah.
Because as it stands, I mean, once you go into the second half of the game, the new area, there's no reason to return to the previous area. There's none.
Right. I think maybe part of it is, and I'll tell you, the game for me it's pretty easy. Like I went against my first war chief, and I was like, okay, hopefully this might be kind of tough. And the war chief was kind of a pushover for me. And if they added branding on top of that, it might have just been the whole game might have just been a huge pushover at that point.
Well, the war chiefs you're fighting right now are like level maybe 10 or 11.
This guy was 11, yeah.
Yeah, that's low end for a war chief.
Okay.
The average war chief in the next area is a minimum of like 17 or 18.
Okay, so it does get more difficult.
Yeah, it gets much more challenging.
Okay, one thing I'm noticing is, I love how much detail they put into the captains and the war chiefs in terms of their strengths and their weaknesses and stuff they can do. And I'm noticing is as I'm continuing with the game, they're adding more stuff on. Like, now they have poisoned weapons. Now certain ones, are you can't stealth them at all. They're impervious to stealth, and they're really getting interesting with the different abilities the captains and war chiefs have, which is good.
Yeah, one of the things you get with the branding is that if you capture an informant, like
A worm?
I think they're called worms.
Yeah, worm.
Or if you capture a captain,
Mm-hmm.
you can send them to do a death threat against another war chief or a captain.
Right.
If you do that, it greatly increases their power, like by 6 or 7 power levels.
Right.
But because they're that much higher power level, you've got a much better chance of getting an epic rune.
Right. And they also get a game
And
too.
there's some fucking great epic runes. I've got a rune. One of my first epic rune got me immunity to poison.
Oh, that's cool. Nice.
And that was a godsend.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't had to deal with poison yet, I don't think. Oh, I don't know, the War Chief had poison? The War Chief might have had poison. But he was such a pushover. I don't think he hit me once, honestly.
Yeah, you don't run into guys with poison attributes all that often in the first half.
Right.
Second half, it can be like a 50-50 chance, at least in my experience.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm noticing now it's like, now there's 2 of them in there that have it. Now there's 3. You know, they start ramping it up as you're going through this stuff.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the Nemesis system and how the attributes work, how they have strengths and weaknesses, and just planning your attacks based around those is tremendously satisfying. It's so smart.
Oh, totally. Totally, yeah,
But
I really like it.
Another thing another problem I have with the game, besides just how unrewarding the game can be at times.
What do you mean by unrewarding?
So there's a ton of side content you can do. You can find the Ithilien runes. You can find artifacts.
Right.
You can complete survival challenges and herb challenges. You can do the legend stuff. So that's 3 additional side missions, and then you can rescue the forgotten, what are they called? The slaves, the outcasts. And you can do all that, but you don't get any tangible rewards. You don't get like a stat boost, or you don't get a epic rune, or you don't get a special weapon or a special ability. You just get a fucking trophy or achievement. That's all you get.
But if you do, so there's things like the other ones that have to do with the bow and the dagger and the sword. And if you do all of those, you get like this epic weapon from doing that stuff?
No, you just get a cosmetically upgraded weapon.
Oh, really? I thought you actually get like this epic weapon from doing all those. Like
no, basically your wraith character simply inscribes your tale in the elven language on your weapon, and that's it. It doesn't do anything.
Oh, I thought you got a really buffed up new weapon for doing that stuff.
So one of the biggest collectathon things in the game, the Ithilien, like I was saying, it's these elven runes that you come across in the environment, and it's like Assassin's Creed 2, to where you were trying to locate all the puzzles in order to access the truth.
Right.
Well, in this, these are all, each Ithilien represents a part of a portrait carved into elven stone.
Right.
And if you collect them all, it's just a little bitty piece of lore. You don't get anything.
Oh, really? I thought like you get something for that.
No, you don't get anything tangible in this game. That really annoys me.
Bad. It just says, don't forget to drink your Ovaltine.
Yeah, it pretty much does. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was so upset about that I just stopped collecting the artifacts. I stopped doing the challenges, and I really, at that point, I had already done all the missions for the bow, like 9 of the missions for the dagger, and like 7 for the sword. I didn't see a point to doing it anymore.
I mean, unless you want, the gamer score or something like that.
Yeah, that's all it is.
That's kind of it.
Really,
that's too bad. That's too bad. That's gonna make it harder for me to do it because I'm on the PS4. No one gives a shit about trophies on the PS4.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't reward you tangibly, and there's really no point in replay value with this game, or even continuing on afterwards. I mean, once you've completed the story quests in the game, you're playing for fun. That's all you're doing. You don't earn anything tangible.
But my thing is like, that's what I've been doing instead of the story missions this whole time.
Yeah, I know. I can understand why people do that. I can understand.
I mean, I do love how dynamic the world is, how you kind of make stuff happen as you're going through, by making Karagors go loose and that kind of thing, and just things just sort of happen in the world, and it makes it seem very living. And one thing is like the next area I'm going to go in is it a little more like visually appealing? Because one thing, the first area is just sort of dull.
Yeah, the first area is kind of dull. The second area, it's much greener and prettier.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. Pretty. I mean, it's not about pretty. It's just like there's just not much to see in the first area. It's like, okay, here's a.
Well, there's not much to see either. It's basically a
Right.
color change. So
Right.
instead of having like red environments and all that and dirt and grime, it's just replaced with weeds and grass and just
Yeah, I'm a little.
grassland.
I'm a little disappointed in the environment art, just because it's just sort of, it's just whatever, But it's not about that. It's not
Yeah.
about that, I guess so. All right, let's do this. Let's take a quick break. And then we come back. Maybe a few more things about Shadow of Mordor. I want to hear about what Chris Davis has been playing for the last couple of weeks. Hear what Bob's been playing. Then we'll go on some news and all that kind of stuff. You're watching Cocktail Time live here at 4PlayerNetwork.com. We'll be right back. Everybody, we are back. Welcome to Cocktail Time live here at 4PlayerNetwork.com. Want to thank everybody who's out there watching us live tonight. So much thank you to our subscribers. People like Scrawny Flannelman, people like Mika Bozu, people like Spire Wrecker, people like Jordan D808 and Zlatko the Drunk. Thank you all for subscribing to us here at 4Player Network. Your subscriptions gotta keep the lights on and the doors open. If you like what we do here at 4Player Network, and you do ask that you think about subscribing, you can do so. It is $4.99 a month over on Twitch TV. For that, you get a bevy of subscriber benefits. You get no ads on our live stream or on our website. You get a cute little 4P next to your name. You get early access to our video reviews and top fives and all that kind of good stuff. Reborn Revolution asking if I'm growing out my hair. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, Reborn Revolution. I have no idea what I'm doing. It's getting long. It's definitely getting long. And sometimes I'll like slick it back or whatever. I don't know. We'll see. I'm in transition. We'll see. But if you cannot subscribe to us, we ask that you maybe just subscribe to us on YouTube. That is free. And make sure you check out our main website at 4playnetwork.com and add us on Twitter. My Twitter is at @TheJosephChrist. Bob is Shifting Bits. And Chris Davis is Slacker Chan. It's all good. All right. So, is there anything about Shadow of Mordor we should talk about? I mean, people kind of have the idea. It's not like it's not really complex. I mean, there's all the captain war chief stuff. You know, is cool. You know what it is for me? There's a lot of lore stuff, like Lord of the Rings lore, that I just don't know, that I think is going over my head as I'm playing.
There does seem to be a lot of that, but at the same time, another complaint I have is that the lore they present, it's pandering to the player. They're really just so one of the first characters that you encounter in the game is fucking Gollum.
Yeah.
It's Gollum for no reason whatsoever other than the fact that the developer wanted to put Gollum in the game. That's why he's in there.
Well, they had to put someone recognizable in the game.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. I mean, it's not just Gollum. It's the fact that the character arcs are bad. So, I mean, you'll have many character arcs that'll last maybe 2, 3, 4 missions, and then they'll just disappear. You'll never hear from them again, and you don't get anything tangible out of it.
Right.
You're going to hear me say it a lot. But it likes to recycle plot elements from the films just so they can point out and say, hey, this happened in this movie. It's happening here. It's a Lord of the Rings game.
Right.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
The weakest part of the game is the story.
Yeah.
Granted, the characters are well written. They are very well voiced.
I love the interactions with the Uruks and stuff, and those characterizations of the evil characters in the game are just fucking perfect. They're perfect.
What's interesting is that the lead writer for this game was also the lead writer for Red Dead Redemption.
Oh, really? You know, I can see a little bit of that because the dialogue is very natural. You know,
it really is.
So, like, Ratbag is an awesome character.
I think we should pick up this conversation again next week once you've earned the branding ability, so we can really talk about that, because again, that changes the nature of the game.
I'm a little worried about that because, you know, I've hardly gotten anywhere in Shadows of Mordor because I just was like on the overworld having fun, you know, slicing things up and doing executions and whatnot. I just got Alien Isolation, so now I'm starting to play that. On Tuesday, I'm going to get The Evil Within. I stopped playing Destiny. I'm just, like, not finishing anything. I still haven't finished Watch Dogs. I still haven't finished fucking Wolfenstein.
What?
Yeah.
How the fuck haven't you finished Wolfenstein?
I don't know. I just didn't finish it. I didn't finish Assassin's Creed Black Flag, but I have never finished an Assassin's Creed game, so I can't.
No, it's perfectly reasonable to not finish Assassin's Creed.
Right. Now, has anyone ever finished an Assassin's Creed game?
Dude,
in history?
Wolfenstein.
I know.
That has been the best game of this year so far for me.
It's been up there. It's definitely been up there. I know. I gotta finish that. I just, you know, and now like. The new Battlefield patch is live, and Battlefield is awesome now. Have you played Battlefield lately, Chris Davis?
Not yet. I've had other priorities.
It's really good. It's really good now. The Battlefield patch, the fall patch, like, I did a whole top-to-bottom clean house. The thing's running at 60 frames per second, smooth, no connection issues. All the guns are rebalanced. The movement is rebalanced. Like, everything is just... It's like, this is how it should have been on release. So I implore anyone who used to play Battlefield and put it down, and this is coming from me, and I gave DICE a lot of shit. I was very vocal about how angry I was about the Battlefield 4 release and the state it was in.
And that argument is very fair.
Yeah, but if you put Battlefield down a while ago, I would suggest anyone to pick it up one more time because it is really good now. They've done a lot of work, and
Evidently there is a new bug that has appeared on Hanoi Resort. Have you heard about this?
No, what is this?
So, you remember that map, Hanoi Resort? That it's the resort area, but it also has this derelict ship that's kind of been blown apart. That can have a flag in there.
Yeah.
If you deform the terrain that's within there, it goes far enough down that it gets to an insta kill area.
Oh right. So if people try to get on the flag, they just fall down a pit and die.
Well, it's not a pit. They just walk into this bit of water, like a puddle, and they die instantly.
Because the game thinks you're out of the map, probably.
Yeah, they think you're out of the map. So
that's funny. That's funny.
Stupid,
That's
but
funny.
I don't know. I'll see if I can find time before December to play it.
Yeah, you definitely should. It's like it's so smooth. It's night and day. It's really kind of amazing.
I was hoping for a lot more with the DLC packs that have been coming out.
Yeah, they're kind of You know, they were like, here's a couple of maps. Here's some. I
I am interested in the Battlefield 2142 content in there, but other than that, I have no interest.
What are you talking about? Oh, you mean the game modes?
Well, the
Carrier Assault. You mean Carrier Assault?
No, I'm talking about the new DLC that came out.
Which one is this? Oh, I haven't downloaded the new DLC yet.
Oh, dude, they added Battlefield 2142 content to it.
What did they add?
There is now a railgun sniper rifle. There is a pod launcher that you get inside and it'll launch you across the map.
Really? I have to download
And there's even a map with a Titan in it.
Really? Oh,
yes.
Man. Okay, I'll have to download that. This always happens to me. This happened to me with Battlefield 3, too, as well. I buy a Battlefield game, and then I'm an idiot, so I get the premier thing where you get everything, the extra $50. And then
the premium,
the premium, and then toward the end of that Battlefield's life, I just forget to download the DLCs. I just totally forget, which they count on, I'm sure. So,
yeah, no, I haven't been interested in the past few packs until now.
Yeah,
Carrier Assault is okay, but
Carrier Assault it would be better if people knew how to play it.
Yeah, if people would actually take capture points and damage the other carrier and then attack it, it would help.
Well, yeah, there's parts where both carriers are open, and people are still taking points on the map, for no.
It doesn't make sense.
Fucking reason. They need to if both carriers are open, everyone just spawns in the carrier. There is no outside anything. It's just kind of ridiculous. It makes me.
People
angry.
are idiots.
They are idiots. They are idiots.
Well, the worst part is that idiots breed.
And they breed. That's true.
They breed
Usually more than non-idiots. Like cockroaches. So what have you been playing, Chris Davis?
I've been busy the past few weeks.
Have you?
Between Project M and completing Shadow of Mordor, playing Alien, I found the time to do some Payday with Bob.
Right.
Payday 2.
Some Payday 2.
Yeah.
Nolan was victorious on Project M. He basically ran away with it.
Yeah, he raffle stomped everybody.
We kind of knew that was going to happen, but I think the big surprise of Project M that I don't think many people saw coming. I certainly didn't see it coming. Was Brad's third place showing behind Nick.
I don't know. I'm not that.
Yeah, I don't know.
surprised by that.
They kept going because Brad was ahead of Nick for a little while, and then Nick was ahead of Brad. It kept going. They kept trading places.
It was neck and neck. It was neck and neck. But when it came down to it, Nick did win. He did beat Brad. Brad in third place.
Brad just has a real big problem with third-person platformers.
Yes.
And that was his downfall.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw his highlight of trying to get that star in the lava area.
Oh, God.
He had a time. He had a
Yeah,
time, and I didn't.
yeah.
I didn't feel pity.
I do like how Brad he did soldier on though. He did keep on playing it.
Everybody played, and everybody completed the game. So
Yeah, it's good.
Nolan was the one who got 201 stars.
Mm-hmm.
I think after that, Nick and Brad only went to 70
Mhm.
and beat Bowser.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
uh,
Because 70 was the
honestly,
original stars, right?
I'm having trouble remembering like the late evening because I just kind of went in the living room and passed out around about 3 o'clock.
Right.
Because the night before I was up until like 2 just setting shit up, and I had to be back over there by about 8ish. So
Right. Right. And what was the total time length of that whole thing?
oh god, we started doing it like officially at about 10:30, 11ish.
In the morning.
And then we had a couple breaks. I think we probably put about 10, 15 hours total.
Okay.
Not as bad as you think.
No. I that's about when me and David played Crackdown. We did one sitting, 14 hours or 14 and a half hours. something like
Jesus
that.
Christ.
Good lord.
We started and beat Crackdown cooperatively in one sitting. But all right, so you haven't been really playing much besides Motor
Payday 2.
and Payday 2. We're not going to talk about Payday 2.
Well, they released new Payday content, and it's actually kind of interesting because it's Hotline Miami content.
All right, go ahead. I know you want to. I know you want to.
It's a 2-part mission where you do a hotline job.
Okay.
First day you have to blow up a bunch of property to trick somebody into calling you and allowing you to trace the call.
Mm-hmm.
And the second day is just hunting the guy down through a maze and just holding you out until you can drill into the vault and kill him.
Right. He's in the vault, like a safe room.
Yeah, he's in the vault.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. He's hiding in the vault and taunting you constantly.
Really?
But yeah, no, we had fun, and we were actually able to convince Nolan to play with us. So Nolan is now like a level 40 in the game.
Wow.
Damn.
Jesus.
Wow. What? Really?
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Wow.
That
see-
was fast.
Well, last month what they did was they introduced a new patch that completely updated the experience and cash systems. So you get XP amazingly fast now. You will level so fast
Right.
that it would have taken you like 10 times longer before the patch. So it's I'm trying to get him into it, and he's very receptive to it.
When did this patch go live?
Last month.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't played since then. Maybe I should patch it up. Well, it probably is
Yeah.
patched because it's on Steam.
Dude, oh man, I forgot how much I love that game. It's a lot of fun to play.
It is.
It
It
is.
is. You gotta, like, do it right. Be on Skype, like
Mhm.
we do, and then it's pretty good.
Get a solid group together, and it's a lot of fun. It's a really solid cooperative game.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very good. I'm glad they keep releasing additional content for it because the new heists are a lot of really cool. Like they do some new stuff that's really kind of interesting, and they're all
And-
very different.
And a week from tomorrow, they're going to be releasing a bunch of new content.
Is it the free heist they're doing or
It should be the Hoxton breakout level.
yeah?
So you get to do a prison break.
That's cool. For the
Prison Break and fucking Payday 2. That sounds awesome.
For the Hotline Miami level, were the graphics the same, or did they do like a brightly colored 8-bit?
No, the graphics were all the same.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the same. But you do get Hotline Miami masks. You get Hotline Miami weapons and things like that. And,
Isn't there Hotline Miami music playing during the heist too?
it's not Hotline Miami music, but it's music inspired by Hotline Miami.
Okay,
Okay.
very reminiscent.
Which, either way, I mean, it's the guy who does the music, Simon Volkland. He's fantastic when it comes to this. So it really feels very evocative of Hotline Miami.
It's a pretty good mission. I enjoyed it a bit.
Yeah, so you should join us sometime, Joseph.
Oh, we'll see. Just add it to the list of other games I don't finish. You know, I am really excited about The Evil Within. I saw somebody playing it last night for about 10 minutes before they were banned.
Ah.
Yeah, it was on. It was a French stream on Twitch, and he was streaming through his PS4, and maybe it was minutes before he was banned, but I didn't see very much. It was like the very beginning type of area of the game. One thing I'm a little. Hopefully it gets adjusted as they go. The camera is very tight on the main character, which is also the problem I had with Shadows of Mordor a little bit. I thought the camera was just a little tight. And
that's one of my issues with the game. Not only is the camera tight, but it does artificial cinematic widescreen. So it's using a 2.35 to 1 ratio.
Right.
And therefore they can render less, but at the same time the camera's pulled in, so you're missing part of the screen real estate, which was a severe problem in Resident Evil 6.
Yeah, I mean you have no peripheral vision, which is really tough. And it looks to be kind of the same like in The Evil Within, and that's probably a trick they use to pull more frames or pull a higher resolution because you don't have to render as much. But you lose that peripheral vision, and it makes it difficult, especially an action-oriented game like Shadows of Mordor. I mean, one of the issues I had, not to go back to the game we already talked about, but I mean, the movement was a little stiff, like moving the guy around. Sometimes he's got to finish that animation before he does the thing you want him to do. And as fluid as the combat is, then the combat is very fluid. The act of walking and running around is very stiff in comparison. Like the fact that there's either walking slow or full sprint. There's nothing in between. And then there's stealthy, which you have your stealthy thing. But I wish I had a light jog in Shadows of Mordor to get around with.
And I am being instructed by chat here to talk about D4. Which I did play, and
what do you think of D4?
It's a very fucking confusing game. It's
a sweary game.
Sweary is at his sweariest.
Yeah.
If he's ever swearied before. Yeah, it's a fucking weird game. It's extremely heavy on the dialogue.
Yeah.
And the gameplay mechanics are just fucking weird.
Right.
But it's tolerable. It does have this off the wall, what the fuck did I just see humor factor to it.
Sweary. His stuff is usually pretty dialogue heavy. So when you say that the gameplay mechanics are weird, what do you mean by weird?
It's built for Kinect.
Right.
And so you have to make motions or use the controller in such a way as to interact with things in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea is that your main character, he has this special power to where he can touch an object and go back in time to experience a moment in that object's history.
Okay.
When it was a pivotal moment.
Okay.
And it's...
So does he have to be really careful of what he touches?
No, it doesn't matter.
It's involuntary because he could be walking down the street and touch a dildo and be like, "Oh my god, who was this in?"
There is so much about this game that I do not understand. What I do understand, one of the most memorable things about it is, so one of the episodes takes place on a plane.
Mm-hmm.
And you use the memory thing to go back in time to be on this plane. And there's a whole assortment of characters on there. There happens to be this rough, tumble security guard who's transport prisoner that you need to talk to. Mm-hmm. There's this obsessive compulsive hypochondriac-esque woman on the plane who's constantly afraid of it about to go down.
Right.
And there's this... I don't want to sound insensitive or rude.
Right.
But
Racist.
There's a gentleman on there who I can best describe as Swery trying to recreate Ruby Rod.
Oh,
Okay.
from Fifth
Fifth
Element.
Element.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't be
It's
surprised.
basically the Japanese version of Ruby Rock.
Okay. Well, I mean, Sweary gets his stuff. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Sweary just takes in, what he sees in mass media and just puts it into his own stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was his Ruby Rod.
And then once you've completed part of his storyline, you finally get to the front of the plane, and all of a sudden, I swear to God, it's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar dressed up as a doctor with the most horrible monotone voice in the world, constantly making motions like he's cutting up a steak or something. I don't understand this game, man. I get the detective elements. I get how you can, investigate a character and see where there's something that's a truth or not, and just learn more about what's going on. But just the characters they bring out and the action sequences they pull are the most fucking over the top I have seen in a long ass time.
It's weird. I mean, it makes me want to get an Xbox One with a Kinect just to play it. Could you play without?
Yeah, I think you can.
I played with the controller. I turned off the Kinect because I did not want to deal with that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And what everything I was reading said it's probably better with the controller too.
Really?
Yeah.
So is this a timed exclusive or is this an exclusive?
No, this is an Xbox One exclusive.
Yeah.
Because I know
Uh,
that Sweary is actually really disappointed with the amount of PR Microsoft has done for this game. In
Well,
fact, he
basically,
tweeted about that.
they made one trailer a long time ago for the game, and then on the last day of the Tokyo Game Show, they released it.
Yeah, it just came out.
It just came out. That was it.
There
There
was
was no.
Was there even an announcement of a release date? It just came out.
No, it just came out. They said D4, the first episodes are now available, and I'm like, what the fuck? Where did this come from?
I mean, granted that, the majority of gamers and whatnot don't actually read news sites, but the
true.
majority of gamers wouldn't play something like D4.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
a niche. It's definitely a niche thing.
So, I mean, still, even for the niche audience, it would have been nice for at least a fucking release announcement.
I agree.
Yeah, no, they actually released a trailer for the release of the game 2 weeks ago. Yeah, the game came out
2 weeks.
coming up on a month ago now.
A month ago.
Oh.
They released a release trailer for the game 2 weeks after it came out.
Yep.
Wow, this is like Konami level of
Yeah, it is.
failure here.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
No, this was somebody dropped their shit at Microsoft on promoting this, and this is a game they should have been kind of proud of because Deadly Premonition has
This is a really big
a
cult
very cult following, but a large cult following.
I can guarantee you that they would have poured more money into the promotion of that game if they didn't unbundle the Kinect a number of months ago.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
Maybe not.
What they ought to do is sign a deal with Swery's team and release D4 with the separate Kinect.
Yeah. They should just
Yeah,
release,
that should be like a free game right off the bat.
they should just release it for Sony. PS4. That's what I think.
Nah, it's not happening.
That's what I think. I'd love to see that.
Oh, and evidently Twin Peaks is coming back, by the way.
Yeah.
Speaking of really weird stuff.
David Lynch is overrated.
Probably. I've seen a couple episodes and I'm like, this is a
I-
TV show. How did they get 2 seasons?
I never really got the whole David Lynch thing.
Oh, no. Those Puma Cola is good.
Is it good? Let me see the label. Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a fucking puma on it.
Yeah, it's Puma Cola.
Man, that'd be a great tattoo. Get that right on your dick.
I don't understand how anybody could do a dick tattoo. That's just,
I've seen it.
well, the physics that have to go into it, number one, the pain for another. I mean,
What do you mean by the
you
physics?
have to keep your dick rock hard.
No, you don't have to.
for-
You don't have to keep your dick hard to get it tattooed. It depends where the tattoo is.
I would assume it actually hurt more if you didn't have a rock hard dick when you're getting the tattoo.
No, I think it would hurt less. I think it would hurt less.
Really?
Yeah, I think if your dick got tattooed while it was soft, it would hurt less than if it was hard. Because have you ever gotten a tattoo, Mr. Chris Davis?
No, I do not.
When
I do not
when
have
you
a
get
tattoo.
tattooed over a hard area of your body, something bony or whatnot, you can feel the vibration of the needle going through your bones. And I think if you had an erection and then you got your dick tattooed, you would it would almost hurt your balls because the vibration would go right through the shaft of the penis like an electrical shock into the testicles.
I'm just thinking that you'd have to, stretch and smooth out the skin, and
Well, it depends.
just-
What do you get?
If you're
I
not
mean,
careful, you'll fuck up the art first off. But besides that,
right? Yeah.
I just think it would really hurt.
It depends where you're. I mean, if you're just getting the head of your dick tattooed, whatever. But if you get the shaft, if you're getting like a spiral down your shaft or like a candy cane or something, then I don't know. You might have to get it. Hard
Well, I
first.
mean, so would you have to be fully erect for the entire process, or would you have to be flaccid?
I mean, you have to choose one or the other.
Yeah, that's the thing. Do you want it to look good when you're flaccid, or do you want to look good when you're fully erect?
And it depends on the person too. Some people they're growers and showers. Some people, there's a huge difference between flaccid and erect, and some people there is less of a huge difference. Like I use Peter North as an example. Peter North, if he has no erection, it's like, well, that guy, has a small dick and he's in porn. And then, like Phoenix from the Flame, it gets huge when Peter North gets an erection.
Right. Though, I mean, what if he actually tattooed his penis to look like the little inner mouth of an alien?
Uh-huh. Oh,
And
right.
It just kind of...
Yeah. It kind of came out.
Don't let it spit at you.
I mean, it's spitting. Acid spit. But the question still remains, what does it eat?
There was a movie back in the 90s. I think it was called Down Periscope.
Yes.
The main character played by Kelsey Grammer.
Uh-huh.
Of course, it's a family comedy, so they never show it. But evidently, the character got drunk one night, passed out, and woke up with a pirate tattoo on his dick.
Right.
Like they tattoo the board on his dick, and right above the shaft it says "Welcome aboard."
Yes.
Wow.
Family comedy.
Family
by the way.
comedy,
Family.
everybody. Family
Yes.
comedy.
For
It's a
the
great
children.
movie.
For the kids.
It's a really good movie.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
For the kids.
Still holds up. I mean, that's saying something.
Yeah. All right, we got 15 more minutes. Do we have any... Oh, actually, Bob, did you talk about anything you weren't playing? Have you played anything that we need to talk about?
Wasteland 2?
Oh, yeah.
Bob, I have to offer a sincere apology. You were very kind as to gift me a copy, and I haven't played it yet.
Oh yeah, because I backed it and I got like fucking 5 copies or something like that. Yeah, and I backed this game God, how long ago was this game on Kickstarter?
A long time ago. That's another game I got and I haven't finished yet.
A long fucking time ago. Yeah, I got the actually I want to say like 2-3 years ago, 3
Right.
years ago,
Yeah.
and I got the physical box actually.
Oh, did you? Let me see it. Did you have it handy to show
No,
us?
they're not going to ship it until later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was like a $50 pre-order for that tier, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Most of these games are gonna be $50 anyway.
Does it come with a disc or just the box?
Physical disc. It even has a map. Like it has all this other shit in there.
Neat.
I don't know if it's a cloth map or what, but I remember seeing the physical box and I was like, fuck that looks really cool.
Yeah.
As kind of like a little collector thing they can throw on the shelf, and Tara can get angry at me for taking up space in her house. It's
Right.
not very large.
With toys. With toys.
Here we go.
A giant pile of mail that you put on the hutch because you've run out of room. On
She's
your
yelling at
desk.
me now.
This is all, but this is the person that wanted a pirate ship lamp who's complaining.
Yeah, the
about
pirate ship. Tara, do you want a pirate ship?
it's it's useful. You know, it's also useful. My video game figurines. They're useful.
Exactly. Your
My-
hentai figurines.
my
sitting
hentai
behind
figure, yeah.
you. I can see them in your camera.
There's 2 of them.
An action figure.
My Skyrim dragon's very useful.
Oh god. Yeah. So Wasteland 2. It's good. Like, it really reminds me a lot of, like, because I never played the original Wasteland. I did, however, play the original Fallout.
Right.
I did play Fallout Tactics,
Right.
and it reminds me a ton of Fallout Tactics.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like Fallout Tactics was basically Wasteland. Like, it had a grid system.
Right.
You had different weapons you could use. You could have your weapon jam. Like Fallout Tactics. Go look at a gameplay video of Fallout Tactics, and that's almost exactly what Wasteland 2 is today, but like with a more modern kind of interface and game design going on.
Right.
And it's great. It's a good game. There's a lot of like fun things to do with it, and it's kind of like it's like a Fallout game, but if it's an isometric tactical game.
Yeah, with very deep story elements and conversational trees and that kind of thing.
And I have not run into Davy Ocean yet in Wasteland.
Yeah, Davy Ocean
Dave Ocean is out
Wasteland
there
too.
somewhere, but I have not run into him.
Yeah, yeah. He's definitely in there.
I've only probably played maybe. Well, I could look at Steam, but I'm at the prison if people know where that is.
I'm not there yet, but we
played
took
9 hours.
You and I both took different
Not that
pathways
hard.
too. Like I went to my first visit to a town was different than you chose, so we're actually getting slightly different gameplay arcs right now. Probably.
Yeah, because what you chose, because when you right at the beginning of the game, you are forced to choose between two destinations. If you choose one, you get there in time to save the populace.
Right.
But the other is a kind of a failure.
Right.
You can't save them. And that changes, how when you'll go there, but when you go there, none of the civilians are alive anymore. They're dead. And it depends on which part you choose, whether people have water, if people have food. Like it's just kind of it's a toss up whether you want to do. Oh, he's in High Pool. High Pool, really? Dave Bush is in High Pool. I went to High Pool.
Maybe you missed him.
Where is he in High Pool?
Because there's stuff you can miss in this game. Like you can just not meet people and you'll never see them again. It's like it's all dependent.
I'll have to go back to High Pool and check it out.
Yeah, it's pretty
maybe
open.
I just completely miss him.
Maybe, but it's pretty open. That's kind of cool thing about it is like it makes you want to search around and look at every nook and cranny. Make sure you're capturing every.
Yeah. And it's there's a lot of different abilities in the game, but they're good enough to like. I just grabbed prefabs of like the characters they're all prefabs. I really didn't care too much of like rolling my own characters. I was like, all right, well, I want someone who's a hacker, I want someone who's a sniper, I want someone who's a smooth talker, and I could just pick those, and I was in the game within like 5 minutes because I heard Brad spending like a fucking hour creating his characters,
Right.
and I was like, I do not want to do that. I know the basic archetype I want. From there, I'll figure it out. And the prefabs they have are great. They work perfectly. I know I don't have to spend that much time doing it because I don't want to spend 1 or 2 of my 9 hours of gameplay just trying to create a fucking character. You could if you wanted to, but unfortunately they give you an option to get out of that. And that's it's great that there's enough depth there, but you can avoid it if you don't want it.
Right.
Which is kind of a perfect thing for an RPG.
Yeah. Definitely.
But it's a lot of fun. It's a fun game. There's a lot of skills there. You choose things like safe cracking, lock picking. You choose things like different types of weapons. Like there's energy weapons are really cool, but they don't do a ton of damage, but they hit a lot. Like kind of those things. Like really kind of a trade-off in variety and like trying to figure out what's the best way to tactically have your characters work together in a way that will benefit your group in the greatest way possible. And there's also kind of a leadership thing. Like you can pick up characters throughout the game and have them join your party, but unless you have a high enough leadership, they'll do whatever the fuck they want during the combat. When combat comes around, they'll just kind of go rogue, or I can't remember what the term is they use in game.
They go heroic or something. They freak
you lose
out.
control, and they
Yeah.
just go. They'll do whatever they want. They'll fire at whatever targets they want. They'll just kind of either run away and hide, depending on the characteristics of the character you picked up. But if you increase your leadership skills, it reduces the chance that they do that. So it helps like to at least have one character that has some leadership skills. Now, I don't have any characters that have leadership skills, so they like depending on the person and how you interact with them, they have a percentage of chance that they'll just kind of go lose control and do whatever the fuck they want,
Right.
and they won't allow you to control them. But it's different for each character. You might have a character that does it more than often than others, so it's kind of a crapshoot at that point. But it's still a fun game. There's a ton of content and stuff you can go on, like look and explore and do. It's a lot of fun. It's really a lot more about survival. As you kind of explore the overworld, you're constantly losing water, and you have to stop at oases or at these other little depots to pick up water. Otherwise, you'll end up dying out in the wastes. There are I guess fallout, nuclear fallout. There's clouds, of radiation.
There's like
that
old
if you
Final
go
Fantasy.
through them, you'll lose health.
Yeah.
Unless you get rad suits. If you get a high enough rad suit that can, negate the rad cloud, to like if it's a rank 3 rad cloud, you need to have a high enough rad suits to be able to negate the damage, and then that way it won't hurt you. Like it's a lot more about survival in a wasteland than it is about just being like, oh, it's a fast travel system. It's like no, this is much more like kind of like the Oregon Trail of exploring a world. It's kind of interesting. Like they have kind of random occurrences that can happen as you're going through this world, like traveling through a map. Like all you see is like your icon of your like this is your party. You're moving through a map. Mm-hmm. You click where you want to go, and you just kind of slowly travel. And it's like, oh, bandits! You see bandits.
It's like old Final Fantasy style overworld, random encounters on the overworld.
Yeah, random encounters, and also you can run into things you just wouldn't have known were there if you didn't go out and explore.
Right.
Like you can find a cache of like items and stuff, and go in there and explore and pick up all the items. Like it's kind of cool in that way. That it's more about like, in this overworld map, it's as you're moving around, you can find things that you might have not ever discovered, just by going through the story or just interacting with things in the world. It's kind of that's a really interesting way of doing things. Like they did, it's a good experience. It's a really good experience. I would say if you liked XCOM, not Enemy Unknown.
No, that was it.
Is that Enemy Unknown?
Yeah, Enemy Unknown.
Yeah. What was the first person shooter?
That was it was a third person shooter, and that was the Bureau.
Yeah. So XCOM Enemy Unknown or XCOM Enemy Within, very similar systems. They got the same combat systems, tactical systems. It's less mission based and more about exploring a world. Yeah. Like they're almost the same game.
And it's kind of exciting. I mean, there's so many variables that can happen while you're playing the game. There's so many, attributes that sort of interact with each other.
Absolutely.
That it's like oh, this person, I have this one gun that I found. Like it's this lady, but her sniper rifle, skills isn't that big, so she can use it, but she'll be a terrible shot. Maybe every once in a while she'll hit, and
yeah. And you can have alternate weapons too. You can be like, all right, well, I'm going to start training her up in shotguns because I don't have people that use shotguns, and I got a really good shotgun here. So, if she's really far away, I'm going to make sure she uses a sniper rifle. If they're coming up, I'm going to have her switch weapons and go into a shotgun and just go fucking crazy.
And even like things that interact with each other. Like I have somebody who had maintenance and somebody who was a safe cracker. I had the safe cracker try to open a safe, and it ends up being a critical failure, which destroys the mechanism. So I had the guy who can fix stuff go in and try and fix the thing. So he was able to fix the safe mechanism, and then she could try again. And they kind of went back and forth. Every once in a while, he'll critically fail, and then I can't fix it at all. But if somebody critically fails while opening a safe, you can use someone's maintenance skill to fix it, and then you can try again.
That's kind of cool. I didn't realize you could do that. I'm always an ass. I just quick save and quick load.
No. Use the person with the maintenance skill to fix the thing the person lockpicking just broke, and then you can lockpick it again.
Yeah, I'm the PC asshole that just got a quick load.
Oh yeah,
F11 or whatever. Just load it, load it, load it, load it, load it.
No, the games, use the game's mechanics. It's more fun.
Yeah, no, that's kind of interesting. Maybe I'll try that next time. And then
And then they're both getting experience for it too.
It's true, they do get experience. I was thinking like, I'm a bit of a sucker for the Ultima formula or the Elder Scrolls formula where you use a skill and you improve in it. But they do gain experience, but that can be applied to whatever you want.
Right, because they only gain a level, then you can put those.
Yeah,
points
I think the big problem is though when you're trying to disarm a bomb or an alarm.
Yes,
that might be when you want a quick load.
That's maybe, yeah.
Yeah, save scumming. Oh man, I
Here.
save scum all the fucking time. I still do it. Well, I mean, I'm thinking of save scumming from like back in my days when I used to play games on DOS.
Right.
Like that's how long ago I used to do it.
Yeah.
Like it's my entire history of gaming has been defined by save scumming.
But anyway, Wasteland 2, really, really good.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's really good. I'm super happy that it's as good as it was. Like I was excited for it. I was like, I remember kind of Wasteland. I remember a lot of the games that were inspired by Wasteland. I'd love to see what they could do with a new game. And then I remember seeing some like later gameplay like maybe about a year ago or 2 years ago, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be too into this game. It's kind of like meh. And then it finally came out. And I was like, oh shit, this is actually really good.
Yeah.
This is actually really good.
It is definitely old school, but I think it's definitely worth. You don't find games that have that much mechanical depth anymore.
No, and it's a lot of narrative depth too.
Yeah.
Like,
and voice acting, lots of voice acting. For an indie game, having that much voice acting.
Yeah, there's a bit of voice acting. It's great. Like as you go through, like you can wander through, and the game will describe to you what you see in the area you are.
Yeah.
Like even though it might add some stuff that you didn't know visually, like saying like, oh, there's bodies hanging from the sign. It's like, yeah, of course you can see fucking bodies hanging from the sign, but it's like, oh, these bodies are severely decayed. Obviously they haven't, they were hung quite some time ago.
Right.
So it's like, oh, I guess that's a little more information for you, so you know that no one's been here in a long time.
Right.
So I'm not likely to find any people, but I might run into some wildlife that was attracted by the bodies and like stuff like that. Like it's kind of really cool that they give you a little bit more information in the game, like describing to you the areas. It almost reminds me obviously like the old Wasteland. They did a lot of that, and Muds and kind of text-based adventures where they give you a little more information.
Muds especially would be very descriptive like that. In terms there's no graphics. There was no graphics, so you had to be.
Yeah, it plays a little more on the imagination, and like saying, oh, this is you see even when you talk to NPCs, it's like you see someone who's very, very sharp, very bright, very smart, but obviously really old and injured or some bullshit like that. And it's like they gives you a lot more information on the character than just like a picture.
Yeah.
Like sometimes the picture can convey that if you have a really good artist.
Right.
But then they can give you a little more information. It was like you sense that this person, they're very defensive and that kind of stuff. And be like, okay, I can understand this character a little bit more. I have these little attributes to associate with them.
Right.
Yeah, it's you don't see it a lot. You see it a lot. It's kind of nice to be able to have that. Additional, I guess, narration and story crafting that you don't see a lot of these days.
Totally. Definitely, you can tell Wasteland 2 was a labor of love by the developers.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I hope it does well for them. I think it's a great game, and I don't see why it wouldn't. But you never know. I mean, it's an old title. I don't know how well the sales were.
Yeah, I have to look that up. Anyway, if people are watching now, they haven't bought it yet. Definitely.
Oh yeah, definitely. If you liked XCOM, you have more than enough reason to go try this game.
Yeah, totally. All right, let's do our final thoughts of the evening. I'll go first, and by doing this show, I'm realizing I have so many fucking games I need to finish. The fuck, and I feel like I'm not gonna get to it until this next wave of good games comes through, and I'm hoping like when that's done, I have a little bit more time, a little more gaming breathing room, and I'm gonna have a hell of a fucking backlog, like in 6 months. It's gonna be ridiculous, but we'll see. I'm gonna be like Nick. My backlog is gonna rival Nick's. Is what it's gonna happen. I'm not gonna make fun of him anymore. As my final thought, Chris Davis.
My final thought of the evening is that, goddamn, the next 6 weeks is going to be so painful in my wallet. I believe between now and December, I've got another 8 games to purchase.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I don't know if I'll finish any of them after, like, you know, that come out in November, because Civ Beyond Earth comes out on the 21st.
Yeah, and then Dragon Age Inquisition is coming. It's just...
Far Cry, I mean...
Oh my god, Far Cry. I forgot about that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I won't be alone. We'll suffer through this together. Solidarity, brother. Solidarity. Bob Webb.
Oh my god. Alright, so apparently there's gonna be a Halloween sale on Steam.
Well, there usually is.
Is there?
Yeah.
All
so
right.
in 3 weeks that's gonna come up, and I am gonna be buying more games that I can't play.
Yeah. So we're all saying the same thing.
I know. I saw that. I was like, oh, good. I'll be able to buy all these games. And it's like, oh,
I'm gonna play these.
my wish list just keeps growing and growing and growing. It's 10 games long, but like normally it's like 1.
Right. Yeah.
My God, this is awful. Like I just, I need to get more time to play games. I really, oh my God, this is awful.
We'll just have to stop making games, Bob.
Yeah,
Just give it up. Just play them.
let's play them.
Just stop for the rest of the year, and just pick it up in January.
Right. That's a good idea. That's a perfect.
Terrible.
Yeah, that's a terrible idea. All right. Well, thanks everyone for coming out tonight. It's Cocktail Time Live here at 4playernetwork.com. Oh, where'd the music go? There it is. There it is. So thanks for watching us here at 4Player Network. It's been Cocktail Time Live. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Chris. And we'll see you all maybe next week. We'll see what happens. All right. Good night, everybody.